Yeah, so tell me about your college experience and how you got here. Uh,
I guess all through high school, my it's either me or my parents. They always planned for me to become a doctor or
really?
whatever else. I guess at least a college professor or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I guess at a point that I wanted to. I guess at that point I was still had my heroes were like Einstein or one of the scientists.
Uh-huh.
So I just sort of I didn't really know what I was doing, know
Yeah.
what they really did. I just there were people I looked up to, so I decided to go into the sciences.
Uh-huh.
And I was a so I went to um, four-year university like everybody else, and just went through it. I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
College. Well, I was first a physics major, but then I flunked my first class.
Uh-huh.
Was it the second class in physics?
Uh-huh.
Decided maybe I shouldn't do this if I'm gonna flunk the classes in my major.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll try to find the easiest major possible at this school, which was pretty scary in the first place.
Uh-huh. And what school was that?
MIT.
MIT.
So I was like, I was pretty intimidated.
That
Like,
must have been,
I
huh?
went through the college catalog. I looked through every single major. Like, okay, I'll go biology. Looks like the one that's the least stressful.
Uh-huh.
But that ended up being not stressful because I was kind of bored through the whole process because it was kind of
Yeah.
easy.
It was
But I
easy.
didn't do too well because I didn't really study because I didn't really like
Uh-huh.
it.
You didn't like the subject matter.
Yeah, I just sort of
Uh-huh.
coasted along. I just sort of was mediocre through the whole process. I just had as
Yeah.
much fun as I could in college. And then, so since I finished school, I said I just felt obligated to go to grad school since I needed to get a job anyway.
Uh-huh.
And then
Where did you go to graduate school?
I went to UT Austin,
UT Austin.
University of Texas at Austin, and
Uh-huh.
actually, because in my undergraduate I did an internship in a brain and cognitive science lab, so I killed a lot of rats. So I just decided to get away from animal experimentation altogether
Uh-huh.
and went into botany. Had no idea what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
Well, I had,
You were botany, huh?
yeah. I did molecular biology, so you can pretty much study any organism.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and I just felt really trapped. I had never tried anything else my entire high school
Uh-huh.
and undergraduate career. I mean, when I was in MIT, I decided to experiment a little and like try different courses.
Mhm.
So I took a jazz. It was
Yeah, how'd you get
jazz
into music?
history.
Yeah.
It was an African American music history class. It was a
Uh-huh.
jazz history class that I took at MIT.
Yeah.
And, that got me really interested because I really never liked music too much before because I had piano lessons since I was little. But I was so unmotivated and bad at piano that my piano teacher had quit on me. I didn't quit piano, my teacher quit on
The
me.
teacher.
Well, it was like the first time I actually really enjoyed music was in the jazz history class.
Uh-huh.
And then also, I guess I had attended this one big band concert,
Uh-huh.
and I liked one of the. There was a girl that played saxophone in the band.
Yeah.
So I go, oh, I guess I want to learn how to play saxophone because I liked the girl in the
Was she
big
cute?
band. Yeah, she was cute. That was like
Sometimes that's what it is, yeah.
sidetrack. Like I had no. It was because I had played trumpet when I was in third grade.
Uh-huh.
Because actually Louis Armstrong was one of my favorite
Really?
musicians back then, but it never clicked that it was jazz back then. I just sort of
Right.
liked how he played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought of it as.
was
I just
just
thought if he was a great player and an entertainer,
Yeah.
he was a cool guy. So I decided to play trumpet in third grade and fourth grade, but then I never picked it up after that.
I see. Yeah.
I just totally switched because I just saw some girl in the band, and that's how I ended
So
up
you-
playing sax.
That's how you stayed with sax.
Yeah.
So tell me from your you're in Texas
Mhm.
and you're in graduate school.
Yeah.
What happens there in Texas when or after you
I was-
graduate from there?
I guess I felt like there was no end to this. I was feeling really bored in lab, plus the hours were like almost practically 20 hours.
Uh-huh.
Because I had to work in the lab for my own professor, plus
Uh-huh.
I had a TA position, so I was working in the other lab for the undergraduate lab,
You were
preparing for it.
you're TA,
It's like
uh-huh.
during the day I was working in my own lab, and in the middle of the night I was preparing for the class for the next day.
Uh-huh.
So I was up all day and night, and I didn't know if I was that dedicated to this thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's pretty much a 24-hour job.
Yeah, it is.
And I go,
Uh-huh.
oh, this is now or never. I had to decide what I wanted to do, so I applied to Berkeley School of Music. I had actually attended one summer session at Berkeley while I was in MIT, and I really liked it. And go, maybe I should actually try it. You know, maybe I can always come back.
Yeah.
You can't really come back to. I mean, you could. It's really hard, but
Yeah.
I decided I guess while I'm still young, I could at least try
Yeah.
something else for once.
Yeah.
And once I never looked back after that.
Uh-huh.
Even though I ran out of money at Berkeley,
Uh-huh.
I decided, I went to go live with my dad in California. I went to
Uh-huh.
Pasadena City College and worked part-time
Uh-huh.
to pay for classes. Like always took 1 or 2 classes in it.
Uh-huh.
So I ended up in the community college system for about 8 years.
Uh-huh. As a student
As a
first.
student.
I see.
And then finally, after a while, it didn't seem like I was going anywhere really fast.
Yeah.
So I decided to join the army
Uh-huh.
to get the GI Bill to
Uh-huh.
try to pay for try to get a bachelor's in music.
Uh-huh.
But that didn't really work out because I didn't really like being in the army.
Yeah, the army, that's a
Yeah,
tough life.
I wanted to do this kind of career just so I have money for college. So I said, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Mhm.
So I decided when I get out of the army, I decided I want to try to find a job that I could enjoy, plus
Yeah.
not have to just be part-time. Find some type of paying job
Yeah.
that I could try to still study music
Mhm.
on my free time.
Uh-huh. And how did you get into the field that you're in now?
Library science?
Yeah.
I'm teaching library science. Well, I guess I was looking at all different types of careers, and I always love to read books, but that's
Yeah.
not. But once you start the library science program, that's not a good enough reason to do it.
Yeah.
Because books isn't everything about library science. But once I entered, PCC had a paraprofessional program
Uh-huh.
for library to be a library tech,
Uh-huh.
and I finished that program, and I really liked the ideas behind teaching how to use the library,
Yeah.
becoming lifelong learners, how to
Mhm.
just sort of, it was like a really broad-based subject. It wasn't really narrow. It was no matter what your interest was, it had something for everybody.
Mhm.
Because it was just more like how to find what you wanted for your own career or your own interests. Because the library is for everybody. It's
Yeah.
it's serving everybody to help them find what their interest is. It's not just all academics. It could be personal information. You need something like a doctor or a lawyer or something like self-help, how to do gardening or cooking.
Sure.
The librarian was always there to help you to find what you wanted. So this career would also help me with
Yeah.
what I wanted to do, no matter what it was. Because I really wanted to study music, but it was I found myself, I wanted to do something that I could work full-time and still enjoy. Because all the time I was studying at PCC, I never really done any paying gigs as a musician. So okay, that's not gonna work out. I did an internship at a music publishing company,
Oh, yeah?
but that got me really disgusted with the music business. I
Oh.
don't think I had. I didn't have the stomach for that side of the music industry.
Yeah.
So
That's a whole different
I
side.
felt like throwing up every single time I walked into my internship. So
Oh.
I don't think that was my cup of tea.
So if there was one person or one thought that you've carried with you along the way, what would that be?
He's never give up.
Never give up.
Yeah, because actually the
good.
hardest class I ever had at MIT was my favorite class. Actually, it was my organic chemistry professor.
Yeah.
At the very first day of class, he said this class is hard and a lot of people are gonna feel like failing the first test, but don't give up even if you flunk the first test.
Uh-huh.
Because he talked about all these Nobel laureates. They weren't A students. They were C's or even flunking half the time.
Yeah.
But it was because they never gave up. They became Nobel. They got their Nobel Prize in chemistry or whatever, because they weren't always excelling at the beginning. They had failed many times, but just because they never gave up
Yeah.
and kept on trying until they succeeded,
Mhm.
that they were able to attain the highest level in their field.
Mhm.
So just never give up. He would always have this at the beginning of every class would be an inspirational lecture. He was better than Tim Robbins. Even I don't think he wasn't all that flamboyant stuff, but
Yeah.
he just really just talked about what the whole purpose of life was. It wasn't just he was teaching the material. He really knew everything. He was
Yeah.
a top scientist in his field in terms
Yeah.
of organic chemistry.
Uh-huh.
But he always taught about what you wanted to do with your life and how much determination you had, and just never give up.
That's a really good philosophy. That's great.
And so
Okay, so once you found your library career, that's what brought you
to here,
to
yeah.
us?
Well, I graduated in '07 with my master's in library science,
Awesome.
and I was working at PCC full time as a classified staff, but I didn't get hired there.
Mhm.
So I first went to the county public library, LA County Public